Good morning. This is September 22nd, Friday 2023, and we are in BBIS first year English class, and this is the third recording we are making from the class. And in the previous segment, what I was saying was that in this first paragraph, the writer presents a dramatic scene, and this scene has some action in it. So it opens in a very normal way, right? Some people are having a cocktail party and they are having a conversation, very normal opening. Then someone does something to someone. A person from the Middle East falls into conversation and steps forward to the American. And then there is a reaction. What is the reaction? The American edges backward, right? Again, the Arab advances, the American retreats, and finally there is an American in each corner of the room. So what do you see? There's a reaction, and then there is a conflict. There's a conflict. A conflict is a situation when something undesirable happens. So the American does not want the Arab to come too close to him, whereas the Arab innocently goes too close to the American. So there is a conflict, and you will see that this conflict will lead to crisis. The conflict will lead to crisis. It will lead to crisis. And we will see how this crisis unfolds in second paragraph. Now let's read second paragraph. What do you do when an amiable chat, a nice conversation, leaves one person, the American, leaves one person, the American, feeling vaguely bullied? So see the conflict leading to the crisis or problem in this drama. The American feels bullied, the other means the Arab, unaccountably chilled. The Arab feels chilled. Fine, no problem. Things would be simpler if these jet setters, international business travelers, were speaking different languages. If they were speaking two different languages, and if the problem was because of verbal language, they could hire a translator to clarify the confusion. But they are not speaking verbal language, they are speaking non-verbal language, the body language, how bodies react in public spaces. Okay, they would just get themselves a translator, but always, whenever you see a word like but, we call this as, we call it contrast marker. We can also call it argument indicator, because what goes before but and what comes after but, you will see that but connects two sentences with opposite ideas. But the problem is a little tougher. Now, Lisa Davis uses the word problem because by the time we come here in second paragraph, we already have a problem. The whole drama in the cocktail party, there was a conversation, very nice conversation, right? And this normal good situation now ended up with where someone is feeling bullied. The American is feeling bullied. So we have the problem that is getting tougher. Why? Because they are using different language of space. It's easy to understand the language of words, but it's quite challenging to understand the language of space. Okay. Third paragraph now. So before I go to third paragraph, in second paragraph you saw we already have the problem. We have the problem. What is the problem? The American is feeling bullied. Everyone who has ever felt cramped in a crowd knows that the skin is not the body's only boundary. What happened earlier? The Arab with the glass of champagne steps forward to the American and they came too close. He came too close, right? So close that he could touch the American physically. The skin is not the body's only boundary. We each wear a zone of privacy. We clearly understand that Lisa Davis, when she uses first person plural pronoun we, she is referring to the Americans. She is talking about Americans. We means Americans because this essay is written from the viewpoint of an American. We each wear a zone of privacy like a hoop skirt. Like, this is a figure of speech. This is simile. What is simile? Simile is where you compare two things. What are we comparing? We are comparing privacy with a dress skirt, hoop skirt. What is hoop skirt? You have a girl, right? And then let's draw the body of the girl and waist size, and then you have the, let's say, I'm not good at drawing, not very good. You have the legs, and then they wear this sort of dress. If you see Hollywood classic movies, a big umbrella-like structure, hoop skirt, inviting others in or keeping them out. So what this skirt does, a funny thing is that, suppose the girl loves someone and likes someone too close, so she can allow them to come too closer to her. Or if she does not like a person, a guy, then this hoop skirt will serve as a boundary line to keep people away. So this simile, this comparison between privacy and skirt tells us that Americans have a sense of zone of privacy, and if they don't like someone, they don't want them to come too close. Okay, with the body language, see, keeping them out with the body language. Have you seen many times when you are in a crowd with other people, your body, the way you use your body also tells a lot to other people. When you are not comfortable, then you react one way. If you are comfortable, you react another way. So it's not only words that convey messages, even the way we exhibit our bodies, the angle at which we stand, how we walk around, how we use space also says a lot. By how closely we approach, right? The angle at which we face them, how close we come and at what angle we face them. The speed with which we break a gaze. Do we keep gazing continuously at someone or we break the gaze? It's a subtle code. Means, now look, pronoun here. It means the use of body. It's a language, but one we use and interpret easily, because as we grow in our culture, we clearly understand how we use body language. Indeed, automatically we are not conscious about how we are using body. It happens having observed the vocabulary from infancy. As we grow, we gradually learn how people use body in public and private space. So do you see in paragraph 2, you read about the consequence of the conflict. The American feels bullied and the Arab feels chilled, right? And then in paragraph 3, you read further discussion about the situation, how we have Americans have the idea of zone of privacy, right? Now we move to paragraph 4. Paragraph 4 is quite important because, let's read. At least we, again, we means the Americans. At least we assume we are reading it right. It means the body language. But from culture to culture, again we have argument indicator. But from culture to culture, from group to group, within a single country, even between the sexes, the language of space has distinctive accents, confusing umlauts. So this is very important because this sentence in paragraph 4 presents an idea which the writer will develop in the essay. So you can say that this idea is a thesis statement. Please understand that the word thesis means a lengthy work of research. You write a thesis when you do your master's, or you write a dissertation when you do your PhD. So if you say just thesis, it's 50, 60, 100, 200 page research work that is part of your degree that you submit to research committee. Now when you say a thesis statement is a sentence like this one. And another meaning of thesis is, thesis means a new idea, important idea, significant idea, valuable idea that results from some research or thinking. Okay. So let's read this sentence carefully, because this is the main idea of the essay, or this is the major argument of the essay, or this is the major claim of this essay. From culture to culture, that means two cultures or more cultures. From group to group within a single country, even if you have one country, let's say Nepal, group to group within a single country, even between sexes, men and women, even between men and women, The language of space, how people use space in public conversation, has distinctive accent. What is accent? Accent is the very subtle difference, the way people pronounce a language. Say, somebody speaking Nepali from Janakpur pronounces Nepali words differently. Somebody speaking Nepali from Mustang pronounces words differently. Somebody speaking Nepali from far west Baitadi pronounces words differently. Somebody speaking Nepali from Japa pronounces words differently. So do you see, Nepalese people coming from different regions of Nepal, they pronounce Nepali words differently. And this slight variation in the way people pronounce words of a language, this difference in pronunciation is accent. For example, my English is quite different from a Breton's English. My English is quite different from an American English. I cannot speak as fluently as an American would. An American has a native accent. A Breton has a native accent. English is not my native speech. English is my foreign language, second language, let's say. So, from culture to culture, from group to group, within a single country, even between the sexes, the language of space has distinctive accent. Means people use space differently in different cultures. People use space even within a single culture. People use space differently even within a single culture. People use space differently even between male and female. The language space has distinctive accent. Confusing umlauts. What is an umlaut? Let me check here. At the bottom of this page you have a note here. An umlaut is change in vowel sound often indicated by, or umlaut is a slight difference. A slight difference that is quite difficult to notice. Okay, so that leaves a lot of room for misinterpretation. See the problem, because the language space is distinct, so there is problem misinterpret. Look, earlier the Arab tried to come very close to the American because the Arab thought that you can be close to your friend. The American felt bullied because the American misinterpreted the Arabs stepping forward. And the stakes have gotten higher as business has become increasingly international. Look, she says that now we have international business and people from different cultures come together. Therefore, it's more important to understand how people use space in public arena. And populations have got multicultural. So a new breed of consultants has appeared in the last few years. Consultants, what? People who train you about multicultural things, people who train you how to use space and when you come in a multicultural setting, appeared in the last few years, interpreting for globetrotters of all nationalities the meaning and use of personal space. So this essay will discuss the meaning and use of personal space. Before I close the video of this paragraph, let me once again point you out that this paragraph number 4 is important because here we have the central idea of the essay. Here we have the main idea of the essay, and we call this central idea as the thesis statement. The thesis is the most important idea in the essay, and the whole essay will discuss this idea. Thesis is like the heart that controls the body. Heart controls body, thesis controls essay. The writer will write nothing that goes against this thesis statement. So before I close the video, once again, paragraph 4 is important because here you see the thesis statement. Now in the next video, I'll move to next paragraph.